Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Inside the One podcast. We're on episode number 9. Today, we are going to go over some of our breakout candidates for the AFC. But breaking news, as you can see, we're on our own channel. Round of applause. Look at us. Yes, we moved over to our own channel because it's just better for what we're trying to do. So hopefully you guys are over here and subscribing and smashing the like button so we can get on track over here. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
That's what's up. All right, so yeah, I guess we just jump right up on into this. So we're just going to go over a couple of the random news topics of the week, and then we're going to dive into our top AFC breakout candidates. We got one each from each team, so it should be a fun time, man. I'll let you go ahead and take the reins on the free agent signings since you did the research on those.
Sure. All right, what's going on, guys? So today we're gonna go over some free agent signings. It's been a quiet week for the week. So the biggest one, I'll start with the biggest one this week. It's Ryan Kerrigan. He went to the Eagles. So I guess it's not that interesting because it's like, okay, the Washington football team, they already had Chase and they already had Montez Sweat, so it's like Ryan Kerrigan's just kind of sitting there on the side. So it's like he had to go somewhere. But yeah, Ryan Kerrigan to the Eagles. Any thoughts about that one?
I just think it's weird that he went to the Eagles, right? Like, what the? Because he had offers from the Bengals and somebody else,
I think
but he chose like a nasty division rival instead.
yeah, like that's
Surprising.
it doesn't
Right?
happen very often.
Maybe there was more money there. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure as hell didn't go there to win a championship. There's got to be something else.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're probably closer to getting one with Washington before you go to Philadelphia. But
Facts. You're not even wrong. That's true.
anyway,
Oh my
so the
lord.
Packers. This is kind of going off of what we were talking about last week with Aaron Rodgers. But the Packers, they're kind of loading up their QB room. I guess they're preparing for something to go down. They signed Blake Bortles and Kurt Benkert. Interesting.
Well, what a group. What a group of guys.
So
You got
what you
Aaron
got?
Rodgers who doesn't want to be there. You got Jordan Love who's there and nobody wants him there. You got Blake Bortles who's just Blake Bortles. And you got meme lord Kurt Benkert. Like, what a squad. Those guys are going to get along fantastic. I bet you they are.
No.
Not going to be a single argument.
Like
Not one.
this doesn't happen. This guys, for those of you like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, he's not leaving. This right here does not happen unless he's leaving. Like
That's
they
true.
are
4
preparing
quarterbacks.
for a quarterback war.
Yeah.
And they refuse to go down in quality. Like you go from, I think was Bart Starr. I think that was the first guy, and then Brett
Yeah.
Favre, and then you go on Aaron Rodgers. So they're just like, you know what? Here's the best 3 guys that we found. You guys are gonna have a war. Good luck. So I just thought that was
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm not sure about a war. I'm pretty sure Jordan Love is going to win that job on the first snap of practice, most likely.
I mean, but Blake Bortles in 2017, that AFC Championship.
Yeah, he had one good season.
I know. We'll see.
he looking
I just
fat
want
these
to.
days.
I just want to see him do good again. I don't know. We'll see.
That's fair.
So next thing is Washington football has its left tackle. They are signing former Bears Charles Leno to a 1-year deal worth $5 million.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't put this in here, but I know they're trying to shop around Morgan Moses. So I don't know if this is like a product of that. Like they got this guy, so now they're able to shop Moses. I'm just trying to figure
Yeah.
out why they're moving around their linemen their offensive line so much.
Well, I mean, they struggled. That's for sure. They got to do something. Nobody really talks about the Bears' offensive line that much, but it's not like Mitch Trubisky had a sunshine and rainbows back there. Like he was running for his life a lot.
Yeah.
So there's one of two options here with the Bears. You're gonna ride with Andy Dalton for this 1-year, $10 million contract, and then let Justin Fields learn. In that case, you need protection because Andy Dalton can't move; he's a statue. Or 2, you're gonna have Justin Fields starting either right away or halfway through the season, and he's a rookie and he has a history of being slow on his reads, and you're gonna have to protect his ass then too. So you got to get the offensive line in check, no matter what the starting quarterback is.
It's true. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's a good thing for Charles Leno to leave there and go to Washington because I feel like Chicago's falling apart and there's a lot of weight on Justin Fields to kind of bring it back up. So it's just like, it's not a good place to be. I mean, it's definitely a good thing to be in Washington right now. I don't know. I think I'd rather be in Washington over Chicago just because of what's going on over there. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll move on. So the regular season schedule was released during the past week, and there was a lot of hype, to say the least, of what was going to happen this coming up season. A couple of notable dates that you guys should put on your calendars immediately. Like right now, go ahead and bring out your phone and put these on your calendar. Week 4, Tom Brady's going to go to New England. Okay, like it's already been pretty hype. I mean, this is the battle to see, like, if you really want to see the difference between Bill Belichick and Tom Brady in the same stadium going against each other. This is the game to watch. And then you have
He's
week
going there
one.
to
Go ahead.
he's going there to break the passing yards record as well. The math says that he
Oh
will break
yeah,
that record
by
in New
week
England.
4.
That is just, don't you just love how the NFL schedules their games? That was 100% on purpose.
It definitely was.
Like if he averages 280 yards per game, he'll break it in week 4. That's a pretty good
Which he
odds.
will. I mean, the way that their offense
Pretty
is set
good
up.
odds.
Yeah. Then we have on week 1, right off the jump, we have the Sam Darnold Bowl. So that's pretty much your Panthers and your Jets going at it. So that's going to be interesting too. Uh,
Yes.
I mean, I'm trying to think about who would win that game. Like, I want to say Sam Darnold and the Panthers do, just because it's like their final, like, haha, I told you I didn't suck, and this is what I can do with a team that actually is built to play around me. So it's just like, I want to say they win, but I don't know. Maybe Zach Wilson just kind of balls out. We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's two pretty trash teams playing, but it is an interesting game.
Yeah, I just don't see the Jets stopping. Even if Sam Darnold just hands off the ball to Christian McCaffrey the entire game, I, I don't see them
Yeah.
losing regardless. I mean, but just be better than Teddy, and that's not hard to do. Sorry, Teddy. Um,
100%.
week 7, we got this is like what I just said, but better. So imagine Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff going at it. So it's the Lions versus the Rams. This I think it's kind of the same thing. It's just like it's a quarterback who was suffering from the team he was in, and he's going to go to the team that was built for him, and he's gonna flourish. So that's what I think happens. I think the Lions beat the Rams here, or no, I'm sorry, the Rams beat the Lions. I mean, do you have any other thoughts besides that? I think it's like a no-brainer.
Um, no, yeah, I wish it was in Detroit, though. That'd be cool to have Matt Stafford go back to Detroit. Hopefully that happens at some point before he's done.
Yeah. I think he will. I think he will for sure. I mean, I still think he has like maybe like another year, maybe 2, maybe 3 in the NFL. I don't think he's going anywhere just yet. I think he's going to try to get a Super Bowl in Los Angeles for a little bit. Then we
Oh
have
yeah,
week 9. Cam Newton plays the Panthers. Is this his first game against the Panthers since he left?
it is. But here's the interesting proposition: will he even be starting in Week 9?
Ooh, you think Mac Jones takes over instead?
I mean, if he's playing bad, who
Sheesh.
knows? That would be super unfortunate if he went to the Patriots and then got benched and is riding the bench in Carolina when they come back. That would be really sad.
Man, I would not want to be on the bench in that game. I'm sorry. I'd be like, look,
Hmm.
Bill, put me in the game. I don't care. You can put Mac Jones in for the rest of the season, but let me play this game.
Cam Newton screams like not going to sit on the bench to me. Like he would,
He'll retire.
as soon as they go to Mac Jones, he's going to be like, trade me out of here right now.
He has a lot of pride. I don't think he's gonna
Yeah.
like. How do you
He
go?
doesn't think he's done.
Yeah, like how do you go from the Super Bowl in 2015? And it's only been 6 years later, and now you're
There's
on the
nothing,
verge of being benched.
there's nothing wrong with him either, bro. It's just that last year didn't really have anybody to throw to, so he was pretty accurate passing and just ran the ball a lot. So it's like, let's see what he does with the weapons this year. I hope he doesn't get benched, but clearly he's not in the plans past this season. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen with him after that.
Well, I know Carolina, they made a big deal about his injury. Like they said that he was never the same after the injury. So I
That's
mean,
fair.
like, yeah, he was passing last year, but can I feel like this is the season to show us that he's the same guy that he was before the injury, and he can definitely do it. I mean, week 9, I mean, that should be plenty of time for you to rehab if you haven't already felt 100% by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got. I still think the Panthers win. Call me crazy, because I think Sam Darnold's gonna ball out in Carolina. I really have high hopes for him. But I mean, I don't
Man.
know. We'll see. We'll see. I like your take. Mac Jones playing instead of Cam. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, Panthers fans will be sad about that one.
Sheesh. All right. So week 16, we have a two games that I'm looking at. So we got Cleveland at Green Bay, and then you have Indianapolis at Arizona. I don't know what's so specific about these games. I just found this list on Twitter that's something you should just be putting on your calendar. But I mean, out of these two games that I just mentioned, I'm definitely looking at the Browns versus Green Bay, and I just think it's going to be disgusting. Like Cleveland is, they might have the entire division on lock next season for all I know. Like maybe
Yeah.
Baltimore took a hit too hard, losing all that pass rush, and Cleveland might just be the team to beat next because they were almost beat the Chiefs, and now you go to Green Bay, who might not have Aaron Rodgers. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. All the Green Bay games just depend on Aaron Rodgers available, like if he's there or not.
Yeah, I mean, you could go what's he been finishing for the past like 3 years? 13-3, 14-2, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
Like the
pretty much.
this
Well, yeah, they had like a 12-4 or something like that. But yeah,
so the second you lose Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you might get 10 wins, 9 wins with Jordan Love. So it's just like, man, Cleveland might come over to Green Bay and actually just, it might not even be close.
yeah.
Man,
You could also have in week one, you could have if depending on what happens with Aaron Rodgers, if he gets traded in the offseason, you could have a bowl in week one. The teams that were supposed to be good but now are shit bowl with the Saints and Packers playing in week one.
oh no.
Uh,
Oh no.
the our Hall of Fame quarterback just left us bowl
The
down in
irony.
New Orleans.
The irony.
That would be such an awkward game to watch. Jordan Love versus Jameis Winston.
I mean,
First of all, the Saints are winning the fuck out of that game, by the way, because we still have a good roster. I feel like the Packers are heavily carried by Aaron Rodgers
yeah,
right now. They can fix that, but like we haven't had an Aaron Rodgers. Drew Brees was kind of struggling for a couple of years, and we
exactly.
built to help him. So like we're okay, but man, the Packers are going to be in a struggle bus.
Yeah, I feel like the Saints were more accommodating Breeze rather than vice versa. Like,
Yeah. Well, we knew this was coming. The Packers didn't, so fair enough.
yeah, Saints get that one if it happens. And then the last
Yeah.
game you should be putting on your calendars. This is in week 4. This is the number 1 overall pick bowl. Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence.
Oh man, yeah. I actually really want to watch that.
I don't know why, but
I
this is the
really.
matchup that really excites me out of everything that I just said.
I know. Me too. I was just thinking that. I was like, wow, that really just gets me going right there. Thinking about that matchup.
It grinds my gears, bro.
It grinds my gears hard.
Like, yeah. I mean, this is
I mean, the sheer amount of points that we could see because neither of those teams are going to be playing much defense this year. So, like, those offenses might light it up on Thursday Night Football.
but who if okay, let's just assume that Burrow and Lawrence are kind of like on the same level per se. Like who do you think has more weapons? Do you like the Bengals weapons
Oh,
over
yes.
Jacksonville? Is it like close? Is
Oh,
it close
yes.
though? Is it close?
No.
Man,
So, like, for me, the Bengals, they have Joe Mixon, who's he hovers top 5 running backs when he stays healthy, right? You have Tyler Boyd, who's ranking, between 1 and 3 on the top slot receivers in the NFL. You have T. Higgins coming in the second year. You got Jamar Chase, who is like one of the highest touted receivers out of college in years. And then, you have some average tight ends. And then you go over to the Jags, and you have James Robinson, who's good out of the backfield. You got Etienne playing whatever position they're doing with him. But then you have Marvin Jones, who's good. You have Laviska Shenault, who could be
DJ
good.
Chark.
You You have DJ Chark, who was good the first year of Gardner Minshew, but didn't really do anything this year. So yeah, I just think the Bengals definitely have more weapons. They do.
So you think they win this game?
Well, I didn't say that. I said they have more weapons. I tend to err on the side of the Jags have a much better coaching staff than the Bengals do right now. And that could make all the difference. But Urban Meyer had been in the NFL really recently, so maybe he's going to suck. I don't know. Maybe he's behind the times. They're bringing in a 33-year-old quarterback to play tight end, and he's putting Travis Etienne at wide receiver, so maybe he's completely out of his mind. I don't know.
Etienne, I think he's going to be the gadget.
I think so too. I think trying to think of a comparison for him, because if they're training him at wide receiver, that's totally different than like an Alvin Kamara type of guy.
We've never seen.
Yeah. This. It would be like a wide receiver that you can also hand the ball off to in the backfield, as opposed to the other way around.
I don't know, man.
Interesting.
It'd be interesting for sure.
I really want to see if they actually use Tim Tebow.
I think they will, just not as much as we think.
Interested in that. Not near. If anybody thinks he's going to be used like Taysom Hill, you're out of your mind. He's going to play like 2 or 3 snaps a game.
He's going to be like the Gronkowski.
Yeah, Taysom Hill is on the field almost the entire game. Tim Tebow is not going to be out there like that. No. You got to understand, guys. Taysom Hill plays fullback, running back, quarterback, wide receiver, and tight end, bro. He does not just play tight end. He's all over the place. They could sling Tim Tebow out there at quarterback on like a trick play, but I don't know about that. One thing that will happen for certain,
it will,
is they put in Tim Tebow on the goal line for a quote-unquote QB draw or whatever, QB blast, but he does the jump pass like he did in college. I guarantee you that's going to happen, and the other NFL teams are going to be sleeping because they forgot, because that was 37 years ago when he did that, and they're going to catch him. They're going to catch him slipping. I promise you.
We're definitely going to see some trick plays from Jacksonville, 100%. The one thing that kills me about this matchup is like Burrow is only going to have maybe this much more experience in the NFL than Lawrence at this point. Okay, like how many games did he play before he got injured for the season? Like 8, 9?
Yeah, I think it was 8 or 9.
Okay,
yeah.
And then this is in week 4, so Burrow has a total of 10 games under his belt, where this is Lawrence's 4th. So it's like they're still both kind of fresh in my eyes. I don't know, man.
Absolutely.
It'll be interesting. I want to see that one a lot.
Burrow's like he's still a rookie until halfway through the season, so.
Exactly. We'll see. All right, guys. So that is pretty much all of the news, NFL general news portion of the podcast. Now we're going to get into our, main event, the top breakout candidates for the AFC. So we're just going to break it down by team. We're going to give you each per team our candidate to break out and why we think that. So we're going to start off with the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm going to let Spitz take the first swing at it, just because I think I like his breakout a little bit more than mine, but you'll hopefully you'll respect what who I've picked. But yeah, we'll go with yours first, because mine's like kind of eh.
What was Mecole, man? Feel like, you still have the best quarterback, right? And you have Sammy Watkins had, I think, 55 passes last season. That's 55 more passes for Mecole. That's really the only reason why you got Tyreek and Travis Kelce taking all the heat. So I always look at Mecole as being the third. You got like the third receiver, I think. Trying to get my mind straight, because I consider Travis Kelce a wide receiver. I'm sorry, guys, if you don't agree, but he catches so many goddamn balls that it's just the same thing. What's the difference? What is the difference? But yeah, he'll be like their third option most likely, between him and Robinson and Pringle and stuff. But he, I think, skill wise, has the most potential to be the one that breaks out. That's the only reason, really. It's going to be somebody on offense. I also would have said L'Jarius Sneed, but I feel like he already did.
Yeah. I was on the verge of picking him myself, but I was like, I think he already broke out last season. Like, that was his.
Yeah. Dude, what a steal. Wow.
What was that 6th round, 4th round, 5th round?
I don't think it was I want to say 4th.
Man.
Anything you pick after the 3rd round that's a good player is a steal, by the way, if you're new here. Yeah. If you're new to the NFL.
All right, guys. My breakout. He kind of already said it. Byron Pringle. Pringle, man. I know he didn't do a whole lot in 2020. Like that's why I said, it might not even be a good pick. He only had 13 catches for 160 yards and one touchdown. He averaged 12 yards a catch. But it's the things that I see from him. Like in the postseason, like he did have 6 catches for 39 yards, and he had like I don't think any touchdowns or anything. But he's just flashy to me. Every time I see him, he's not quite Tyreek or anything like that, Mecole, but I still think he could be that third. Because now you got rid of Sammy Watkins. I think Pringle could get into that third spot. I just like what I see from him. I don't really have any other. It's just the eye test. He passes the eye test for me. He doesn't really pass the stat, on paper test. But I just, he's 6'1", he's 23 pounds, he's quick. I just think he could, complement Tyreek and Mecole Hardman very well. I don't know. That's pretty much it. All right. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Buffalo Bills. Here we go. So this one I feel way more confident about. Dawson Knox. So look, guys, I know this is the actual NFL we're talking about here, but in Madden, he's a beast. Okay, he's fast. He has a good size. He can get open. I know he's not really done a whole lot when it comes like in real life. I don't know. He just like anytime I think about the Bills, I think about like Cole Beasley. I think about Diggs, but I do think Dawson Knox. He hasn't had a breakout season yet, and I think this will be his breakout season.
Yeah, I mean, guys, who the fuck is guarding Dawson? Like, you already have Diggs, Beasley, Gabe Davis, Emmanuel Sanders, 17 running backs that are all average at best. Josh Allen. Who on your defense is guard? You're putting a linebacker on Dawson Knox, 100% guaranteed, and that's just not going to be fun time.
Yeah, I mean, like this guy
But
is
yeah,
6'4", 250 pounds. I mean, he didn't do a whole lot, like I said. Like I'm doing a whole lot of Madden here, weigh in just on this guy. But I mean, he caught 3 touchdown passes. He averages about 12 yards a catch. He didn't do a whole lot, but I see it. He's just a big, tall guy. You're not going to be able to cover him a whole lot, and he's fast. That's what you like to see from your tight ends.
yeah. So I picked Gabe Davis. Man, he went off went off. Is a loose term, but you got to see his hands and just his like athleticism in that Colts playoff game where he was just making some super difficult sideline toe taps. Um, and like I just said with Dawson Knox, I mean, you have so many weapons that Gabe Davis is probably pulling the worst defensive back on your team, and he's too good for that. So there's a chance that he could really have a good time this season with all those other weapons out there. Plus, he went to UCF and so did I, so I got to represent my man's pull for him. But yeah, if y'all play fantasy football and you got a deep draft, bro, look at for real Gabe Davis for real. I'm telling you, because he's one of those guys that would be a red zone threat as a wide receiver because everybody's going to have their eyes on Diggs and even Emmanuel Sanders because he's very good in the red zone route running. So Gabe Davis might be the guy in the back corner fade in the end zone. So I'm just saying, think about it.
Either way, I mean, it seems like they're just loaded on offense. Whether you got the tight end and the wide receivers, it's just Kansas City and the Bills. They're almost built, but Kansas City's a little bit better. The way that they're built as far as their passing attack.
Yeah.
Very similar. So we'll go on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. So this one, you'll notice like a trend with my breakouts. Najee Harris is my breakout. I mean, this is kind of a no-brainer for me because of what he did in Alabama. Like this man ran for 1,466 yards. He had 30 total touchdowns. He had 26 on the ground and 4 through the air. And just, I guess if we're talking about like all-purpose yards, just in general, he had 1,891 yards. Yes, I know he's in
Damn.
Alabama. Yes, I know, it's just the team and everything. But it's just like, man, if you put him into Pittsburgh, he's going to be doing the same thing. Like he's going to be the feature back. I don't think Balling, Kalen Balling, I think that's his name. I don't think he really.
Bullet.
What's his name?
Balaj.
Balaj. What did I say? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Balaj. I just don't think he gets the job over Harris, and Harris is just going to be probably like a feature back, and he's probably just going to show everything I just talked about over in Pittsburgh. It's just going to be an immediate impact over there, and it's just a no-brainer for me for Pittsburgh.
I went with Alex Highsmith because last year when Bud Dupree got hurt, he kind of was forced to step in, and that's not easy to do. But now he knows his job is to come in there and be the starting edge rusher. So I feel like he's got a chance to be the stud, man, because at the end of the day, you're playing opposite of TJ Watt, and therefore you're not pulling there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have no double teams, no nothing. You're chilling over there on the other side of the defensive line, and you got a chance to make plays. And he did okay last year for them without when Bud Dupree went down. But now he's got the whole offseason knowing he's the starter, knowing he's the guy, and just think that there's a chance that he could have a really good season. Almost like a Trey Hendrickson thing where, like, you just kind of, people don't really recognize you until it's too late because you got Cam Jordan over there and they got TJ Watt, so everybody's focusing on that. Plus your defensive tackles are good on the Steelers and the Saints. And then on the other side of the edge, people just forget you're there and you slide right in there for all them sacks. So he's got a shot.
Interesting. I mean, I like it. I like it. Either way, I mean, these are just all opinion based. Like, I can't, like, no one's gonna be like, well, I don't like the way you picked it. It's just like we don't know who's gonna break out, so we're just kind of like taking stabs at it, just to let you guys know what we're thinking. So we're gonna move on to where are we at? Tennessee Titans. We're on the Titans. You'll see, like I said, I have a trend. I'm gonna pick another rookie, Caleb Farley. So this kid, when they talk about this kid, they compare him to a Hall of Famer. That's how good he's supposed to be. And just the Hall of Famer they compare him to, Jalen Ramsey. Okay, that's not that's not a name you just throw around willy nilly. Okay, in college, just to split up 2018-2019 seasons, he got like what? I think 6 picks. So I mean, it's just like the kid's not bad, and it's just like I know he's probably gonna have an immediate impact, especially with Adoree Jackson gone. I mean, the Titans were already kind of like, kind of thin in the secondary, so I can just see him making an immediate impact. And when you're when you're even spoken about in the same sentence as Jalen Ramsey, like, that says a lot about you.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so
yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and say he makes an immediate impact. He's gonna be the breakout for next season.
Yeah, so I picked Jeffrey Simmons. Don't really know why, to be honest with you. I just feel like show some defensive linemen some love. They don't have Clowney now. Not that it mattered because he didn't do anything, but they don't have him regardless. So I just feel like, there's a chance that he could make some noise down there on the defensive line. He's a big dude, run-stuffing guy, make some big plays. They have a really good team, guys. It's hard sometimes to pick breakout players from a team that's full of studs. And the Titans are one of those teams, so it's just kind of like, who in their starting lineup do you hear about not that often? And I was like, Jeffrey Simmons. That's honest to God, that's why I picked him.
Yeah. I mean, I was on the verge. I was just like, honestly, if you pick anybody in the secondary, you're going to be like, oh, it's a breakout, because that's all they do. That's all they do is play the secondary. Like, I was just talking to Spitz about the secondary room that they have right now. Like, they have Jeffrey Simmons.
Yes.
They have their rookie. You've got, who would I say? I'm drawing blank. Bryce Callahan. You've got Kyle Fuller. Like, that room is just stacked. So it's like, honestly, you can kind of pick whoever you want that hasn't been active lately, and they're like, well, who's going to break out? Like, obviously, they're stacked. So it's just like, it's a no-brainer. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and move on to my favorite team, Baltimore Ravens. So, I'll tell you what, I like Spitz's pick more, but I'm still a little high from the draft, guys. I haven't come down yet. And I'm gonna pick Rashad Bateman. So the reason why I picked him is just like, man, I just like the comparisons that I get for him. I've seen so many articles at this point. There's so many, but I just know he has really good comparisons. And just in general, I mean, this kid, I'm looking at stats right now. I mean, he got 704 yards in 2018. 2019, he had a really nice year. He had 1,200 yards, and then in 2020, he had like a little bit quieter year, was 472 yards. But I mean, just his averages are nice. Like, he averages about 13 yards a catch, and then he seems to average at least 50. In 2018, he averaged about 50 yards a game, and then 2019 and 20 averaged about 100 yards. So when you're talking about averaging that many yards per game, I mean, that just kind of shows me like, okay, you're reliable. You're definitely going to get these yards per game, whether, doesn't matter. It's just this kid seems like he has really good hands. He doesn't have to be the fastest. I know he's like, oh well, he didn't run like a 4.2 like LSU kids did. I get that, but not everybody has to be fast. As long as you're being targeted and catch the ball, it doesn't really matter. Look at Michael Thomas. So I
True.
like him a lot going into this season.
Yeah, I picked J.K. Dobbins. I just feel like it's been on the brink last season, and yeah, I mean that's about it. Honestly, he's fast, quick, elusive, and he's just like you see the flashes
Yeah,
every time he steps on the field, and it's just like a matter of time. I feel like until he finally just pops off. And I mean, listen, the Ravens like to run. Mark Ingram's gone. It's him and Gus Edwards now, and
I was just about to get to that. So it's interesting to me because you picked J.K. Dobbins, but Gus is kind of right on that same level. Like I feel like
right,
he might break out. So, but I get what you're saying. Like when you hand the ball off to J.K., you see flashes. You just see him breaking out for more yards. Gus is just like, here you go, get this first down for us on 3rd and 2.
hmm
So it's just like I get it. He's just like that big guy that's going to get you at least 2 or 3 yards per carry. But no, J.K. He was such a
yeah,
good pick last year.
J.K. looking studly, man.
He is.
And if they have a little bit less of a predictable offense, it'll help him a little bit. But listen, Mark Ingram was getting yards easily for the Ravens, and it's no offense to him, but that makes me believe that J.K. Dobbins can really go off.
Yeah. Either way, man. If you give me Gus or J.K., one of them's gonna break out. Hopefully. I want J.K. though. Let's move on to the Browns. So we got my pick was Greg Newsome, another rookie. I know, guys. Oh, you're being just stop picking rookies. I get it, but it's just like when they are first round picks, you just kind of like expect a breakout for them immediately, like immediate impacts. Especially, I mean, they didn't really need this because the Browns were already pretty good in the secondary. But I mean, I'm looking at some stats here now. I mean, this guy, he's what? When I look at him, he's not really a ball hawk per se. Like he only has one pick over 3 years. One.
Yes.
But I mean, he seems like he's all over the field. He's got 55 solo tackles, 16 assists. He's got 71 total tackles. He plays. He doesn't play every single game, but it just because he's only played 21 games total. So just seeing these stats based on the amount of games he's played seems that he's on the field. He might not be looking for the ball per se, but he's actually looking. He's playing the receiver rather, and that tells me like that tells me he's a physical guy, and that's what Cleveland is. So I think that's going to be a good matchup for them.
Yeah. And the thing about picks too is that it's also possible that they just weren't throwing his way.
True.
Um,
True.
so I went on a little bit of a limb on this one, boys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Oh my gosh, I
Stretch.
put Baker Mayfield. Um, guys, I don't know if he plays a full season like he played the last half of last season. That's why I gave him this. He hasn't proven that he can do that. Just saying, if he does, though, the Browns are not going to lose that many games,
No.
and y'all are going to hate me so much, he would be in the MVP conversation, and that
Ooh.
would make him a breakout player. If he plays the whole
Sheesh.
season, hear me out, but for real though, look at the stats. If he plays the whole 17 games the way that he played the last half of last season, where he was protecting the ball, didn't throw picks, just only touchdowns, he could find himself in the conversation solely on being on a team. Because if he plays like that, that team is going like 13-3. Okay, let's be honest. And then being the leader of said 13-3 team. I'm not saying he's going to win MVP, but his name's going to come up. And for me, compared to where he's been for the last 4 years, if he finds himself this season with his name being mentioned when people talk about MVP, then he would qualify. Am I wrong?
I guess we need to define what breakout means. Like,
Breakout
like
would
a
mean
huge
going from
improvement.
not even, because he's like not even a Pro Bowler. So if
Yeah.
you go from not even being a Pro Bowler to being an MVP conversation, then that's got to be a breakout.
Yeah. No, I
Because
get it,
he's
man.
really been, up until the last half of last season, Baker Mayfield's really been some hot cross buns.
Yeah, he had like a
And
little
then,
cycle where it's like he would be buns, get criticized by the media, play really good, and then get
yes,
cocky,
yes,
go into a game, be buns. Like it went to a circle.
yes. But last year he got cocky and stayed there.
Yeah,
And so it's like if you can stay there, actually he wasn't even cocky. He just shut up and played. If you can just shut up and play, shut out the media, shut your mouth and play, that's when he seemed to be at his best. And if he can stick with that and keep it going, then he would be a breakout because he was on the verge of like there was people. Then they start off like 3-3 or something. Like they had a poor start
yeah,
last year, and people were saying like this is it. He's officially a bust. He's going to be out of the league. He's going to be off the team. They should trade him. They should get rid of him. Blah blah blah. So if he's an MVP, I mean, he could. He's. It's very clear that he can break out if he just sticks with what he's doing. Look at the Browns,
it's almost
man.
like he felt the heat coming on, and he was like, no, 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 we're not trading me. We're not. I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah,
I got to play.
because everybody said last year he was a game manager, and it's like, bro, it's not his fault that he has two stud running backs to hand the ball off to. That doesn't necessarily make you a game manager because he was making some plays. Like when they played the Ravens, that high scoring ass game, he was making some things happen in that game. He made some things happen in even in the playoffs against the Steelers, especially against the Steelers, and then in the Chiefs game as well. So I wouldn't even call him a game manager. I think that's a little bit of a stretch.
No,
I think he's right in between. He's in between the game manager and the star quarterback. He's right, like there's like a gray area right in between there that he's kind of been stuck in last year, and now I think he's gonna move up. You know,
right? No, I get it, man.
I think he feels after the way they finished last season and how they played in the playoffs. I think that whole team has this like for the first time in Browns history, they have this like we can get to the Super Bowl. That's like for the first time ever in the history of the Browns. Now we don't know how they're going to handle that, of course, but it's definitely happening. Where like every team believes they can get to the Super Bowl, but like once you start playing, you know it's not true. But like these guys are at a point for the first time ever in Cleveland where they're like, "Holy shit, guys, we actually could get to the Super Bowl," and I'm interested to see if they play like it or not.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when you talk about Baker, it's just like I think the biggest like evidence of the breakout coming was the Ravens game. Like that. I think it was like a Thursday night, and they just went back and forth. Lamar had to take a cramp, quote unquote cramp, and he came back out.
Deuce.
Yeah, he dropped a deuce, guys. And but Baker was just out there doing his thing, and like I'm like, my God, like if this is gonna be how it's gonna be every single year, twice a year with the Browns from now on, this is miserable. Like I miss the days where we blew him out. But those days are gone.
Imagine having to game plan for the Browns if Baker Mayfield is like a top tier quarterback and you have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt back there too. You got to figure out what you're going to do. And you have Odell on this side with Jarvis Landry over there. I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, there's so much potential on the fucking Browns, bro. If they can just keep it together for a full season and not do this flippity floppy stuff for the first half of the season,
exactly.
Then,
but yet they're the same old Browns,
We'll see. Are they going to be the same old Browns guys, or are they going to be the Browns? Let's find out.
Right.
I'm excited.
Right. So we'll move on from one exciting topic to another. The Indianapolis Colts. My breakout was Carson Wentz, man. Not quite as the same level as Baker, because I think Baker is definitely more evident of having a breakout season. But Carson Wentz, I mean,
yeah, for sure.
He went from having an MVP season. Well, he was on the way to getting an MVP season, and then last year, he wasn't the worst, but yet again, he was on a team that kind of, they kind of gave up on him, and he still ended up putting, close to 3,000 yards. He threw for 16 touchdowns, 15 picks. I mean, he was all, if you have a 1-for-1 ratio, Jameis Winston has a job, and he, so whatever.
Hey, you're not wrong.
And then, the QBR could be definitely worked on. But I'm just saying, like, Carson Wentz is not trash. Okay? So it's just like, if he goes over to Indianapolis and gets surrounded by the line that they have going now, they just signed Eric Fisher. They got
Yes.
Quentin Nelson, I believe, and
Line's juiced.
yeah, I mean, it's just he's got protection now. New team. Hopefully he's I hope he just gets reborn in a way. Just kind of like has the team has faith in him because that's their quarterback now. New team and new coach. He just when you're in a new atmosphere, new environment. You just kind of want to refresh, and you kind of maybe he doesn't make those overthrows. Maybe he doesn't feel pressured. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he actually has time to read the pocket and make the reads and actually deliver the ball accurately. So it's just like I think Carson Wentz could definitely almost have an epiphany here and be a breakout and actually live up to that potential that he was, a couple years back and maybe finally secure the MVP. Wouldn't it be crazy if Baker Mayfield and Carson Wentz were in the MVP conversation in the same year?
Oh my
Just
god.
saying.
Yeah, I mean they have good receivers too. Ty, they got
Yeah.
Pittman.
I didn't even mention those.
Um,
Like, yeah, of course, they got all these crazy receivers, and it's just, it's definitely possible.
yeah, and they also have breakout candidate Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Um, I, dude, when Jonathan Taylor was the guy, him and Hines, because Marlon Mack, injuries, Jonathan Taylor came in, and I was just like, bro, y'all don't even need Marlon Mack. This guy's
No,
better.
you don't.
Like Jonathan Taylor is studly, bro. He's fast, strong. That playoff game against the Bills, they had problems. He gave them problems. And I mean the Bills don't have the best defense in the world, but he's just a good ass running back, and I feel like if he gets the reins this year for sure, like for real, as the number one option, uh, then I mean that's an easy 1,000+ yards. I'd have to imagine in that offense, especially if Carson Wentz is doing well, because then you can't just play for the run all game. I don't know. I just like Jonathan Taylor a lot. I liked watching him. I watched him at college, and I forgot about him when he went to the Colts, and then he started playing, and I was like, oh shit, Jonathan Taylor plays for the Colts, and then yeah, he just kind of blows
Yeah.
my mind with the talent that's there.
No, I'm on the same page as you. Like, I almost wanted to even not even put him on this list because I thought he already broke out in a way. Like,
It was close.
he
I
was,
was close to doing that.
it
Yeah,
was close, but I was like, he's not fully emerged as the number one. Like,
he
they're
was
still on
he
the
was he split a lot of snaps last year. That's the only reason why I
exactly.
said that.
Yeah. So I mean, he could be the feature back this coming up year. I mean, you got Naheem Hines, you got Jonathan Taylor, now you have Marlon Mack coming back from COVID. So it's just like, all
Right.
right, who do you play first? I still think it's Jonathan Taylor, and then once they find out he's the guy, then sure, he's definitely going to be the breakout for sure between those three.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go over to Miami.
This is an interesting ass team. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
full of draft picks and
It's like this team could so much hinges on their quarterback, which you're going to talk about in a second.
yeah,
But like, I mean, this is a team that could win the Super Bowl or not even like be over 500. We have no fucking idea. I really don't.
yeah. I mean, so obviously he kind of gave it away. My breakout is Tua. I just, he did split snaps with Fitzmagic, and it concerns me because Fitz did better in Miami. But, but, I mean, Tua, you have all these weapons now. I mean, you got Mike Gesicki, you got Jalen Waddle, you got God dang it, I'm drawing a blank here. You got Devontae Parker. I mean, it's just yeah, and then you got someone Will Fuller. Sorry guys, I'm just been a long day. But yeah, guys, he has all these weapons, and it's just like there's no reason for you not to have your breakout. Like, prove that you are the first overall pick, or not in the first round, not the first overall pick.
Hmm.
So it's just like, why wouldn't you break out? He didn't have a bad season, guys. For like, I know he didn't take a lot of snaps, but I'm just saying, like, he did throw for almost 2,000 yards. He had 11 touchdowns and he only had 5 picks. So I mean, he
Hmm.
wasn't bad when he was on the field, but the moment that he started like missing reads and he didn't understand what an open receiver was, that's when he got benched. So it's just like if he can just retain everything that he learned from Fitz and apply that to the game next year with all of these new receivers, yeah, for the most part they are new. I mean, he could have a breakout season for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of the receivers, man, Dude, I feel like Devontae Parker hasn't hit his stride yet. I mean, I think it's because of the quarterback situation they've had there for a while. Obviously, it wasn't working out with Tannehill for that. I think they were together down there. And then you just had some nonsense, and then you had Fitz, and then you had two, and it just never came together. But like Devontae Parker's always been this receiver that everybody expected to like be top tier, and he's just kind of been stuck as like above average. And I'm just curious if Tua does play really well, and you have to take some attention on Jalen Waddle and some of these guys. I'm wondering if Devontae Parker can finally like establish himself a little bit, and
I
be
guess my
really, really
question is
good.
like, exactly, like, do you think he's the number one going into next year?
Yes, I do think so. Yeah, I don't know if you just put Jalen Waddle in as number one right away.
Well, I was
And
thinking
it's not
between, I
Will
guess, him and
Fuller.
Will Fuller. Yeah,
Yeah, no, Devontae Parker's earned the number one, even if he like a lot of his numbers necessarily haven't come down to him as much as just kind of a strange carousel of quarterbacks that was there for a little bit while he's been playing. So he's got this whole offseason to work with Tua, knowing that it's going to be Tua. There's no Fitz or Tua, it's Tua. So you just work with him all offseason, get the chemistry going. He has the physical attributes of a great wide receiver. And so I'm hoping for his sake and for the Dolphins that he can be that guy, because Will Fuller's a good deep threat and Jalen Waddle's really nice like after the catch. But like I feel like Devontae Parker is like your like your Michael Thomas. Like just that's the guy you get the ball to when you need 10 yards and a first down. You're going to Devontae Parker and that's it.
yeah.
And I feel like he can do that. He just has to have the right
Be
team around
clutch.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because like now that I think about it, like they have had a lot of quarterbacks coming in and out of there since
That's
his peak.
exactly.
Like you have Josh Rosen, then you had Tannehill, then you had
Yeah.
Fitz, then you have Tua. Like I kind of feel bad for the kid. Like we're talking about a number one who hasn't had a breakout season yet.
Yeah. He's been in the league for what, 5 years probably? 5 or 6 maybe?
Yeah. So it's just with that
Just got a
said,
shot though.
it's crazy. Like he
Like
deserves
when he
it.
got drafted, it was like, oh, this guy's going to be really good. And then he just had no quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, how can you get good if you don't have any like chemistry? You're just catching balls from whoever.
Yeah, it's kind of like Scary Terry in Washington. Like, what the fuck is he supposed to do with until now? Of course, like until recently, but like with Dwayne Haskins and stuff, like what was he supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like he's a great wide receiver, but like it's not going to show on the stat sheet because he's got bums throwing in the ball.
Yeah.
So similar situation there. Like they obviously, almost fucking ruined Ryan Tannehill's career, and
What a
then
story.
the whole Josh Rosen waste, and then Fitz
Waste.
drafting Tua and having Fitz there, and it's just chaos. I mean, you had two quarters. Like you literally. It wasn't even like you had Fitz for the first half of the season. They switched to Tua. Like you had Tua for the first half of the game, and Fitz would come in the second half.
Exactly.
You just can't you can't build a chemistry like that. You just can't.
Yeah. Nah, I get that. 100%. Poor Parker. Have a breakout season, just for us at least.
Come on, Devontae.
For real. We'll go to the Las Vegas Raiders. This one was kind of like an easy one for me, like a no-brainer, just because he should have done it last year, but he got injured.
Yeah.
I picked Henry Ruggs. So obviously this kid is just all speed. Okay, guys, nothing but speed. He did do okay when he was on the field. Like it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Like he caught 26 passes for 452 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had an average of 18 yards per catch. So what that tells me is when he gets the ball, he's got at least gonna get almost 20 yards. Whether he's just already down the field and catching it, or he's just gonna run. Like he's just fast. So I mean, I just think he's gonna be able to. I think he's our number one this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe he'll finally get the chance he deserves to play a full season. Kind of almost like the Joe Burrow thing. Like, hey, you were number one for a reason, first overall pick. I mean, just first round. Sorry guys, I keep mixing those two up. First round pick, and it's just like you time to show it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who the receivers are. They got Snead, who's not the number one for sure.
Definitely
They
not.
have. Wow, I'm really drawing a blank, boys. Listen, let's all take a second to be honest, okay? Darren Waller is the number one wide receiver. I don't care what his position says on the
Oh,
scoreboard.
okay. I thought you were talking about actual receivers. No, if you're talking
No,
about just
this guy.
receiving threats in general, yeah, Darren Waller.
Is he even a tight end, guys? I see him lining up on the outside against the Saints. Like, are we really calling him a tight end? Just like, what are we doing? Anyways, he's listed at tight end so they can have 4 wide receivers on the field in their personnel. That's all. I'm just throwing it out there. He's not even a tight end. He just listed as one.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I went with there's another wide receiver that I literally couldn't think of. I went with Hunter Renfrow. Do I think he's going to break out? No, but he already picked Henry Ruggs, so I had to go with somebody else. I thought about doing it with Derek Carr, but I'm done with Derek Carr. So I decided Derek Carr is what he is. He's not going to get it. Like, this is just it. That's it. He's not bad. I'm just saying, like, I don't see any.
He's not getting any better.
Getting any better. It's really, guys. The Raiders are good, man. It's just the coaching sucks. Like, Derek Carr is fine. He's not doing anything wrong. He's throwing for like 3,500 yards every year. He's not having a terrible touchdown to pick interception ratio. They're just not winning games. But yeah, I went with Hunter Renfrow just because I don't fucking know why, dude. Henry Ruggs is the breakout player for the Raiders. Let's be honest. This is so obvious.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, when Henry was injured, Hunter stepped up. So
Hunter is he's a very good, like, Julian Edelman type of little slot receiver. He is. I don't know if they're going to use him like that, though, is the problem.
No, it's just he's shown the ability to step up in a higher role. So I think that's what we were talking about.
We're talking about a coaching staff that, like, gets you ready to beat the Chiefs and then also lets you should lose to the Jets. So until they figure out the coaching staff, any of this for the Raiders matters because they're not going to do anything. They're going to be fucking 8-8, or excuse me, they're going to be 9-8 every single season until they get better coaching.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who they have. Aaron Rodgers could go to the fucking Raiders and they'll go 9-8 because John Gruden will do something stupid.
He'll just turn his headset off, actually. He'll just ignore him. Mike McCarthy.
Well, that's true. Aaron Rodgers would just say, you know what? No, I'm doing this myself. Pull a Tom Brady.
Yeah, he will. He will, for sure. All right, guys. We're going to go to the New England Patriots. So I kind of already went over this player. I'm still sticking with this player. I truly believe he is going to be a breakout player for this team. I know everything they've done in the offseason, but it's just like, yeah, you got a bunch of wide receivers, but like none of them scream like number one to me. It's just like a bunch of number twos in my mind. But this kid, I mean, he already showed that if you give him the ball, he will do good things. The days of Sony Michel are gone. I think the days of James White are gone. I think it's all about Damian Harris. Damian Harris is my breakout. I think they found their identity as far as being that run team and being really good on defense. They definitely loaded up on defense, so they're pretty much proving my point. And then when you have Cam, he's a mobile quarterback, So it's just like when you have Damian Harris and you have Cam on your offense, it just screams we're going to be run heavy, and then obviously it's going to be centered around your running back as well. So Damian Harris. I mean, Cam's already I won't put Cam as a breakout just because we might see a little shakeup. We don't know. Maybe Mac Jones takes over, but I still think the constant in that team right now is going to be Damian.
Yeah. I went with one of the receivers. I just picked Kendrick Bourne. I feel like one of them could break out, and I feel like he's the most likely one. I'm kind of giving up on like Nelson Aguilar, whatever, just brick hand ass. So Kendrick Bourne has like the most potential of the receivers that they've brought in here. So that's really the only reason why their offense is kind of, like he said, going to be run heavy still. So I'm kind of just guessing that Kendrick Bourne is going to get a lot of catches this season.
Yeah. Speaking of guessing, so we're going to go over to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Oh, this was impossible.
This was tough. You control this all you want. Because I feel like all the players that have shown that they will break out have broken out. And we know who the good players are going to be in the Chargers. There's no guessing. You're going to get Herbert. You're going to get Mike Williams. You're going to get all these guys. You're going to get Keelan Allen. The offense is kind of figured out, Eckler and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we're just going to sit here and reach out to see who might make a name for themselves coming up in this season, I just went this was a stretch, guys. Jalen Guyton. He is their third receiver
Who?
I need Snoop. Who?
Who? Yeah.
Jalen Guyton. I mean, it's such a weird name too. Like,
Oh.
he had 28 catches for 511 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged 18.3 yards a catch. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, he shows that he can catch and has a good average. Like, anytime I see like a good average catch, that means like, he he'll give you some good yards every time he catches it. You can at least if he catches it, you can at least he's going to at least get 20 yards average. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, when you have the only reason why I think he might break out, here's my reasoning if you want like an actual reasoning. If you have your tight end covered, if you have Mike Williams covered, you have Keelan Allen, who's going to be open? This guy, Jalen Guyton. He's going to be open. So I just think that there's already too many receivers to be accounted for, and this guy might slip out into the open and catch. So I don't know. That's my reasoning.
So I went with Tyron Johnson because I found out that he had a perfect passer rating when throwing to Tyron Johnson. So that's it. They have Mike Williams. They have the tight end, Jared Cook. I think if they give Tyron Johnson some snaps, he might actually be able to do something. I mean, obviously they've had success throwing to him. He's fast. So, yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
The Chargers was hard.
Chargers was hard. It was hard.
Yeah, Chargers was hard.
I don't think either one of our guys are going to break out, but, I mean, when you got no one else to really hope for, we don't have any question marks. That's what you get.
Yeah.
We'll go over to the Broncos, which I think both of ours is kind of like a no-brainer at this point. I don't know if the guy that I chose is going to break out either this season or whenever the hell Drew Lock gets out of there. But maybe Aaron Rodgers comes over to Denver and makes this guy look good. But it's on the horizon. I just don't know if it's going to be this season. I picked Jerry Jeudy. I mean, when you're the 15th overall pick, and you only catch 52 passes for 856 yards for 3 touchdowns. I mean, something's not right here. Something's not adding up. I don't remember if he missed any games last season, to be completely honest with you guys. I didn't watch every single Broncos game. But, I mean, when you have these numbers and you're drafted at this point, 15th, what the heck? What's going on? I mean, is it Drew? I mean, I know you're bringing Teddy, oh boy, but, I don't think things are going to change all that much. So, like I said, I don't think he's going to have maybe Drew Lock kind of, does his thing next year and makes him look good. But, I mean, the moment a quarterback actually goes in there to Denver, I think Jerry Jeudy's going to actually have a really nice season.
Yeah. I picked Noah Fant. I think he could be a really good, like, top-tier tight end if they use him properly. But, yeah, it's all really going to depend on the quarterback play, to be honest with you. I still can't believe they didn't draft one.
That's wild.
But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, maybe we talk about that. Just why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't you? Like, didn't they have? Wasn't Justin Fields available at their pick, and they went ahead and got Surtain? It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just amazed at the Broncos, what they do, and their decision making. We'll go over to the Cincinnati Bengals, which, I think I like Spitz's pick way more. But this one is more because he was injured for most of last year, and I mean, you could argue that he already had a breakout season. He's already like a known guy in the secondary, but I picked Trey Waynes. I mean, his 2019 stats, I mean, he had 56 solo tackles, he had 2 forced fumbles, 1 pick. I think he can definitely be, I don't know if he's the number 1 corner over there if he's healthy, but I do think he's actually going to give you some problems on defense. And I mean, with a defense that, on the secondary, besides Jesse Bates and Von Bell, I don't know who else you talk about. Maybe Mike Hilton, maybe Steven Nelson, but Trey Wayne's not for sure. I mean, especially when you got William Jackson gone now. Yeah, I think Trey Waynes is going to be the breakout guy, especially when you come back from an injured season, bounce back, comeback season.
Yeah, dude, I'm same thing as you, but with Joe Burrow, I think that he's going to absolutely go fucking nuts.
For sure.
And it's like he got hurt, and they, what was I going to say? people just kind of like they just forgot about him. Like that just became the Justin Herbert show. And I feel like he has a chip on his shoulder. Everybody's talking about, oh, the offensive line. And not that he's just going to be like, okay, you know what? I don't give a damn about the offensive line because now I got somebody to throw to.
He's got like
Um,
3 or 4 people
he's
to throw
got
to.
all the weapons. He got that offense has so much potential behind it. Um, but yeah, I love me some Joe Burrow, man. Y'all know this by now, but I just feel like because he didn't play the whole last season, that he qualifies as a breakout player, and therefore he's about to tap some cheeks. And they might still be the fourth best team in the AFC North, but it's not going to be as bad as it was before. I'll tell you that right now.
No, that's gonna be close. The
They're
fact,
coming for that ass, boy.
yeah, cheeks are in danger.
They are coming for that ass. Give them like one more year, maybe two, and they're on those cheeks for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a war coming up soon.
Especially when Big Ben's gone, because it's going to take a second for the Steelers. They're not going to have, unless they do something crazy in the draft one of these next 2 years, they're not going to have that replacement right away.
Yeah,
So
that's when the shit's gonna
Steelers
hit
are
the
gonna
fan
fall
for
down.
sure. Like the moment Big
Yeah.
Ben retires,
will the Ravens get an extension done with Lamar? Dude, I don't know. We could have Cleveland, we could have Ohio taking over the AFC North, man.
completely,
You never know.
man. I don't want to think about that. Let's just live in the now. So Houston Texans next team. This was kind of hard just because they could quite possibly go 0-16 next season. So this was
Yeah.
my pick right here is based solely on my fantasy experience with this guy. Sometimes he'll be on the waiver wire and I pick him up for like a week or two and he might put up some points for me. I know Deshaun Watson, and this was during the time of D-Hop, but he can catch and now you got Will Fuller gone and you got D-Hop gone. So this guy might actually break out. I'm talking about Kiki QT.
Hmm.
So he had 33 catches for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. He averaged about 12 yards a catch. So, I mean, he's, like I said, when you don't have a whole lot left to go to, and I think Woods? Who's their number one right now? Not Woods. Is it Woods? Cooks.
Texans?
Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks,
Cooks,
right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Cooks. I was like, what?
Sorry, I
Yeah.
just, they were on the Rams together. I just, I get my Rams mixed up. But, yeah, Kiki QT, he's going to be their number 2, so I feel like he's going to break out. I don't know. Intuition.
I went with Zach Cunningham. They don't have a lot of talent on the Texans, man. It's hard to it's hard to do that with the Texans, bro. I really didn't know who to pick. They have a bunch of old guys. So I went with Zach Cunningham, middle linebacker. He was already one of the best linebackers last year, but I mean, who else am I going to choose? That's about it. I don't even fuck the Texans, man. No offense.
No, I get it, man. It's tough. Yeah, Texans. We're just gonna move on. The New York Jets. I think they definitely have more potential than the Texans for sure. I picked Zach Wilson. I don't know, man. I like these rookies. I like this rookie class. Zach Wilson has been compared to some really, really special names. Because I've talked about his stats before when we were talking about I think breakouts once before. But I mean, I'm hearing names like Patrick Mahomes. I'm hearing names like Aaron Rodgers. I'm hearing names like Joe Montana. Like, there is a lot of good comparisons to Zach Wilson. I don't know if they just saw his pro day and were like, oh my God. Like, I get it. And he had the really good, I think it was like the 2019 season with BYU. I think that's the season that I quoted for you guys a couple weeks back. But I just think he's it. I just think he's the guy for New York Jets. I mean, how many quarterbacks you're going to go through before you find a diamond? I think it's Zach
Yeah.
Wilson.
I did Mekhi Becton. This is the only offensive lineman I picked. I just feel like everybody keeps talking about him as being like the next in line, like big offensive tackle. And so I just put him on here because I've heard that all off season long, and I'm like, all right, well, let's see it then. Let's see you be the best. Let's see you not give up sacks to your boy Zach Wilson. Let's see you protect the run. Let's see it. I want you to prove to me that you're going to be up there with like Ryan Ramczyk and those boys.
Those boys.
Them
All right,
boys.
and we'll move on to the last team who obviously there was no other name that I could think of to be a breakout because this is such a no-brainer for me, and I'm so excited for Madden 22 to play with this team. I picked Trevor Lawrence. just for, do I have to say it? Do I have to explain why? The man's only lost 2 games in his entire career. They've both been in the postseason. He's 34-2, okay? His entire life. I think that 34-2 is just college games, but I mean, he's never lost a game, okay? Not a single game in the regular season. Just, man, I'm really excited to see him play. And then he doesn't have like the best weapons. Like I wish they would have tried a little bit harder to get him some better weapons. I'm not saying they're bad weapons. Like you got NTN, you got Chenault, you got DJ Chark. They just brought Marvin Jones Jr. So I mean, and you got James Robinson in the backfield. So it's like it's not terrible, but and then you got Tim Tebow coming out of nowhere. I get it. Like this is like the best you can come up with in the offseason, but I still think he's going to do good with what he's got. He's that good of a quarterback.
Yeah, I went with Laviska Shenault because they got Trevor Lawrence, and he already did well with Gardner Minshew. So I feel like my man's Laviska can come out there and really ball out. I also thought about DJ Chark, but I went with Shenault instead because I feel like DJ Chark had his breakout that first year around with Minshew already.
Yeah.
Because I had him on my fantasy team and he just absolutely carried me. So yeah, that's why I really feel like the receiving core for Jacksonville can be really strong though. Like
can be
maybe a couple years, because like people forget about DJ Chark, I think, and they have Marvin Jones, and they have I don't know who their tight end is right now besides Tebow.
I mean, it was Eifert, but
oh yes, that's right. Is he still there?
Not a starter.
Just be getting hurt all the time. Yeah. Asshole.
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I wish they kind of got like a bigger name receiver over there, just because I just want to see it. I just want to see what Trevor can do with like a big time elite receiver. But no, I think Laviska, DJ, they're plenty. But yeah, guys.
Yeah, they're plenty.
So this was the breakouts. What'd you think?
Yes, Sirski.
I mean, I'm sure you guys are like, what? Like, why him? It's just like we had to think about like who has already broken out already, and like who's not even in the conversation. Most of these are opinion based. Most of these were stretches. Not most of them. Some of them were. But yeah, guys, we're just doing the AFC for now. We're doing the NFC next week.
Yes, NFC breakouts.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, guys, you let us know what you think. If we talked about your team, you let us know who you think your breakout's going to be, because you probably know your team better than we know your team. So we definitely want to hear what you guys got to say. But yeah,
absolutely, baby. Subscribe, man. Come on, boys.
Yeah, new channel. Come on, guys. We need.
We're trying to get to 100 subs ASAP, bro. Come on.
100 subs.
Love you guys.
In 10 days.
Love y'all. 100 subs in 10. 100 subs. No. Let's try to get 50 subs by the next week's podcast.
Ooh.
At least try to do that. Come on, boys. Let's not slack on the sub button, man. You guys know you love the podcast. You ask about it every day. Subscribe to the new channel. Support the boys. We're on a mission now. Yeah. Once you start the new channel, the mission begins, baby. We're ready to go.
I mean, there's no doubt that this can become a thing, like a
no turning back now.
Yeah, I mean,
we did 8 episodes on our channels to make sure that we liked doing it and that you guys liked watching it, and we like it and you like it, so we started its own channel. It was that simple. By the way, if anybody is new here, this is going to be the first episode on here, but there'll be a podcast, or excuse me, there'll be a playlist like at the end here, probably on the screen right now. If we're in the last 20 seconds, it'll be right here. Playlist. You can watch the old ones. Or if I don't forget, I'll put it in the description, the link for the playlist. Just in case, because there's no way to move the videos over to here. Well, there is, but a lot of people say that you lose them, so there's no point. Just leave them where they are. And just watch the playlist. And then from here on, everything will be on here. If we have time, we'll break off little clips into their own videos throughout the week in between episodes. But, yeah, exciting times, boys.
Yeah. Guys, if you're new and you're just kind of just not coming into this for the first time, I mean, we go over things like free agency. We go over things like just news in general. Like we covered all of the Aaron Rodgers. We covered all the Deshaun Watson. We go over everything. And then when the season comes around, we're pretty much just going to go over every single week. game by game, just talking about our thoughts, just in general, just going over everything. And yeah, I mean, if you have any suggestions on what we could do better or what you would like to see, definitely go in the comments below and let us know. Because again, this is going to be a brand new channel, brand new experiment rather. I mean, we've done it on our own channels, but I mean, it's its own thing. It's its own beast. So we gotta support it. And yeah, guys, just let us know what we need to work on. Yeah, thank you guys for supporting.
Yes,
Hit the
sir.
like button, hit the sub button, and definitely go into our. If you're brand new to the podcast, definitely support the other channels that we have too. Jay Hoff and It Spits, the separate channels
Yes,
that
sir.
they were. This podcast was born from those, so support those too. And yeah, any last words?
That sounds like just about everything, bro.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna be it for this week, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for your support. And until next time, guys. Peace out.
Peace out.